to know from that few of them have got some issues or something. So I would like to address them first, as described by Radical, and then we can move ahead. So, guys, go on. Okay. Okay. Anything that is concerning about the course content and syllabus? We have started this batch on the 15th, right? And then the other week we have completed few things on AWS. You guys have any questions around that? Go ahead with that. That we will address first and then start. Guys, have you got any questions?
No, sir.
No,
I don't have any
no,
questions.
sir.
Okay.
No.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Sorry. There was a slight confusion between few of the people here in the group and with their counselors anyhow. Now see, since we are going to continue for the next 3 months, right? So, and there are more than 30-35 people, correct? And this is an online batch. I reach out to you via the Zoom or this one, Zoom, Google Meet. This happens only once or twice. We will be meeting on Zoom only. But the thing is, it will be a connect between you and me throughout the course, correct? So if there are some issues, I will address it. If I have an issue, I will address it to you. So it is this kind of a thing. So few people were not comfortable with the pace of the lecture, and which I actually completely disagree. And that was a confusion. Okay. Last week we did not have a session because my kid was admitted, as I informed you guys, right? Last to last week, we only completed few things on the cloud platform, like creating a VM and this and that. Okay. Now the thing is, K, since you guys cannot do DevOps directly, so I have put in my effort to put in networking, AWS, Linux, and Windows from my end. You are not paying fees to Radical for that thing. This is something which comes in complementary with the DevOps course. And I have added this content only because since you guys may not know Linux or Windows, let's learn that. Right. Now we have to put in a real effort to learn this, guys. Okay. We have completed five uh, typical or virtual sessions. We started on Sunday, then the next week, Saturday and Sunday. And last week, Saturday, Sunday was not there. So basically, five sessions. Out of that, only two sessions happened. The first session was the introductory. Correct. So you guys tell me one thing very frankly now. Do you think 21 days are not sufficient to practice two sessions? What I have taught? Tell me this thing very genuinely. If you feel my pace is a little faster, I will slow it down. And if you feel that if it is okay, then I will continue. Because I really need to know this, because other than that, how will I continue? Right? It's a question mark to me also, that how should I go ahead with the content? So tell me.
It's
Yeah,
going good.
it's
She
enough for us.
promised.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, it's good. It is good.
I think it's quite be is fast, so you can be a little bit slow down over there.
Actually, we don't have any idea about the networking and Linux, and you are explaining the way we are already know about it. So it's fast for us, only for the basic things. Otherwise, it's all good.
So yeah, that I understand. No, I believe that you guys would be, maybe freshers or recently joined this industry, correct? Hello, talking to you guys.
Yeah, but it's like we are working on different technology as well. So we don't have any idea about the Linux machines and the networking. We are completely work on the development only. That would
That
be the one reason.
that is one reason that is accepted. But so then, if you guys say fast, then how can we be even a little slower than that? Because if you have seen the content, if my screen is visible, this much is the content. Okay. And if we go slow, which means cut short some content or increase the time. Now, this particular content will already take more than 3 months. Okay. And really, to be very honest, while you guys joined this course, I have precisely mentioned that every one of you will receive the blogger's page like this. So I've given you this page plus this page. Okay, let me show you roadmap to DevOps second. Okay, now, chalo, for one particular instance, we will let's believe that I am going fast. We have only taken 2 sessions and I was a little fast. Chalo, I agree. But do you really feel 21 days wouldn't be sufficient to practice that 2 days work, even if we have gotten fast? Looking at the links over here and looking at my recordings. Tell me, do you guys really want to become a DevOps engineer down the line 4 months? This is a question now to people who say that this is going fast. And this is a genuine thing. Tell me.
As per your course contents, you are going good. Actually, problem is like we are not able to understand in a that way. That's the
Okay.
reason.
Correct. So tell me this way, na, my friend. Now, instead of going the other way around, tell me this thing precisely. See, I am your trainer. Until and unless you come up with your problem, how will I sort that out? Now, why did I ask you guys to create the WhatsApp group? This is the reason. Maybe LMS पे हम लोग को ठीक से पढ़ने नहीं जमेगा. Because I am not sure how many of you are comfortable logging onto LMS through your phone and putting in your errors. We are more comfortable using WhatsApp, correct? So we did
Yes,
that, right? For your betterment only, I got this thing done from Radical. No other trainer gets the WhatsApp group except Amir, okay? In Radical, because there are number of people and there are huge number of people becoming DevOps and there are huge number of people getting jobs in DevOps also. If you don't believe or trust me, just look at the Google reviews we got like maybe 15 days back. Okay. So the thing is, ki we know what happens. Okay. Now, this is the genuine issue. You guys are from a different domain and you guys are having a little difficulty in understanding that, which means you need to spend a little more time on that. Okay, otherwise we are going with a absolute correct pace. इससे ज़्यादा slow नहीं पढ़ा सकते because this is a professional course. This is not a school. This is not a college. You guys have to put in a little more effort. 1 घंटे की जगह 2 घंटा बैठो उसको लेके. Trust me. This is only how it is going to help you. Plus the help what you require now. Let's say we have learned AWS how to create a Linux virtual machine. Correct? Okay. Now, if you look at the recording properly, I have shown you in practical key how to create the VM. First thing. Second thing, to subordinate that particular thing, to incorporate that thing, I have mentioned you few links over here. You have to the importance of that is you have to read it because when you read it, you learn more things about that particular thing. You become an expert in that particular thing. So which means 1 week you designated for this particular thing, how to create a VM on AWS. So think that way. This is how you're going to, collectively learn. Because if you have that at the back of your mind na every time कि बाप रे इतना सब कुछ पढ़ना है मेरे को, वो तो मुश्किल है, then it is not going to be possible, guys. Look at one thing at one time. Make one thing as your objective, learn that, complete it, and then move to other thing, because that is why we are giving you recordings. And the expectation is whatever is completed this Saturday and Sunday, till the next Friday, you complete everything. If you have any questions, doubts, or errors, put it on the group, get it sorted, or maybe I will redirect you to a particular Google link. You will find the solution there. And before the Saturday session, we guys are completed with our previous work. This is the understanding and expectation. And tell me one thing, was this not informed to you in your very first session and in the demo lectures, guys? Tell me. It was addressed, correct?
Yes, sir.
In the WhatsApp group के बारे में भी I told you in the demo ना कि हम लोग WhatsApp group बनाते हैं and we learn there, right?
Yes, sir.
So then if you guys are not able to cope up with the content, tell me or tell other people on the group also. Please treat them as your friends. Okay, I have people from my older batches also. You can ask them how we collaborate with each other to learn something. Okay, so don't think कि तुम अदर अलग डोमेन से हो तो तुमको जल्दी समझ में नहीं आएगा. No, guys, you're not from different planet. Okay, we all belong to the same industry. The only thing is कि because of our education system, people who are graduated from BE, IT, and all these things are still not so proficient in their domains, and that is the reason we have to spend money, come to places like Radical, and then get trained. That is the only curse we have in our industry, because the real knowledge, the practical knowledge, we don't get in colleges. And since we don't have that now, people are not giving you jobs. They're telling you तुमको तो practical experience है ही नहीं. अच्छा पढ़ाएंगे ही नहीं तो हाँ मिलेगा कहाँ से, right? That is the problem. So for that we have to make an effort. Our lives are in our own hand, guys. Okay, and that is not going to be sorted out until and unless we make an effort. कोई भी चीज के बारे में, I'm not telling about this course and only study. This particular thing will come to your life in every stage for everything. Be it buying a new home, being getting married, being giving a birth to a newborn baby. This particular thing will come to you in everything. You have to make an effort by yourself because you are responsible for your life. Okay, so from now I'm going to teach you few things. Tell me if the pace was good or not by the end of this session today. If you still feel it is fast, we will try to slow it down, but genuinely answer to me, because then we have to complete the entire things which I've mentioned on this page. Okay, so we have to be on the one page, everyone, and then we will discuss. People who are from different domain or freshers or who don't know Linux at all, Windows at all, this course is designed for them also. So don't consider yourself as out of the box. Consider yourself in this vortex. We have given you guys 4 to 5 sessions, dedicated sessions, so that you learn and understand. But that does not mean you leave everything up to the trainer. No, put in your effort also. ये जो links दिए हैं मैंने, इसको खोलो, इसको पढ़ो. कुछ अगर नहीं समझ में आया तो व्हाट्सएप के ग्रुप पे डालो या फिर एलएमएस पे डालो. Looking at that, we will make an attempt to answer to that. Everyone. Now this will become everyone's responsibility. Okay. If anybody puts a question on the WhatsApp or an LMS, you guys, everyone have to collectively answer to that. Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing is sorted. Second thing. Now, quickly ask me questions if you guys have any around the content which we have already completed. Since my screen is already on the sharing mode.
Sir, Kushagra this side, I have a doubt.
Yes, absolutely. Go on.
Sir, if the parent network is same and we want to ping two of the servers, so we create a private DNS, right? And if
Just a moment. One
Yeah.
second, guys. One second. Yeah, go on now.
Sir, if the parent network is different, then how? Then also we have to create a private DNS among two networks, or how can we just connect those?
First thing, the DNS creation is not in DevOps hands. The DNS servers will already be there in your industry, created by your parent company or your customer's company.
Okay, sir.
We created private DNS because we want a DNS server in my network, and we have created our network as a private network, and only for us. No other person should peep into my network. And when we talk about a network or a cluster, I want every single compute. When we say compute, compute means a VM, a server, or a laptop. Your laptop. Your laptop have got processor, RAM, capacitor, transistor, motherboard, right? What are these are the components of your laptop. But all together, collectively, they are called as a single laptop or a desktop and a
Yes.
server and a supercomputer. Everything falls under the same category. Only the resources are different. किसी का RAM कम है, किसी का ज़्यादा है. That is the only difference, right? So collectively, they will be called as a compute. So if I want all my compute to communicate with each other using the IP and the name, which we discussed thoroughly in the very first or the second session, that how to call each other by their names, we require a DNS. And that is why we created a private DNS. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Any other questions? Any other question, guys? Now, when I'm asking you, ask your questions. Please do not hesitate to ask the question, because if you do not ask the question, how will I come to know? Tell me. Go on. No questions then? Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Fine. So basically, guys, see, again, to reiterate, we are following this page. Okay. So till the end, you guys will be following this page. This page contains your syllabus, and the syllabus is DevOps. What is DevOps? It's a combination of multiple toolings. So the person who works on automation is called as a DevOps. He will always look after the automation, right? But for automation, one should first understand how the manual thing works, correct? And what are the manual things? The same thing which we have been doing in our day to day life. Okay. Whatever your job is, you're a developer, you're a database administrator, you're a DB, you're a Linux admin, Windows, testing, monitoring, operations, or whatever domain comes under IT. Whatever you guys are doing in your day to day activities, that has to be automated. You must have heard one news. Amazon, Google, and many big brands are firing people. Did you hear that news?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
Yes.
guys
Every
know
day.
what is the, do you guys know what is the reason?
Lack of knowledge or performance.
I- Okay,
Extra high.
okay.
Due to
I'll give you
automation.
two. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes to find out the precise answer. Meanwhile, I'll also come back. We will discuss on this thoroughly today, because this piece of knowledge will really help you to understand why are we always upgrading our skill set to survive in the IT industry. Okay, and this question goes for every, be it a professional, be it a lateral, be it a fresher, be it a undergrad. This question is for everyone, so everyone make an attempt to answer to it. Okay, So you can refer Google. You have Google on your phone, laptop, desktop. So let's take a quick 2 minutes pause and let me know once you are with it.
काय बोला.
Yes, everyone ready with your answers?
Yes, sir.
Something regarding OpenAI.
Sorry, open AI. Okay. What else?
Due to automation like has increased in industry and due to which human resources is not much needed, that might be the reason.
Correct. That is the only reason. You know, these we have reached the level of automation where many organizations in the Western countries are creating robots, which are not legalized, but they are creating it. Right? People like Elon Musk and then Jeff, they are launching their own satellites. So to try and understand the level of artificial intelligence we have, touched and come back. Correct. So these things were not created overnight. These things were created over the decades till the time we, you know, understood this industry. It came in into 1970s. Okay, when the first seashell was created, right? And since then it has been 50 years. So these things have not been created overnight. Now, the people who actually created it, Okay, they are being fired. Because if you have seen that movie, I don't remember the name, but that is a truth that once the automation takes over humans, the humans will be discarded, and that's what's happening now. These people, Amazon, you know, uh, then Microsoft, then Twitter, they don't need human resources now. They want robots. They have already created, and who created robots? These people only created it, and when they created it, they didn't know that these are going to stand against them one fine day, and that came in. That time has come in. We are actually living that era where we are being fired, where we are being disregarded, discarded because of our own skill set. We only created them, and because of them, we are being removed. So now you understand, guys, where do we stand? We need to upgrade our skill set at every time in our, career, so that we should not be removed from our industry. Make sense? So this is a very big lesson. People who are looking at the news, try and understand, no, today or tomorrow you might not be removed or discarded, but one fine day when you become stagnant, when you're not learning new things, and when you become a liability to the company other than a responsibility, you know, rather than becoming an asset, you become a liability to the company, they will remove you. As simple as that. Okay. And don't worry, you guys have already chosen a very good community. DevOps is not going to shut down. It is always in the higher demand, and it will always remain in the higher demand, because if you have understood by the 3 sessions which we have taken, it is a combination of everything. Okay, becoming a DevOps engineer is not so difficult, but it is only easy for people who know the basics and who knows how many things are included or required to become a DevOps engineer. Okay, so as per our syllabus, what we have done is we have created this account. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we have chosen AWS cloud platform to deploy our resources. Okay, which means a VM, a Linux or a Windows, a storage, a volume, a firewall, a DNS, and a particular user. So I think we also created one user. So we have completed a lot of things, but these a lot of things were in a small chunks, which means these were very basic things, very small things. Okay, so if if you feel that that was a lot of content already, then it is already a very good sign, right? We are learning a lot of things because we have to look into a lot of things. So let's continue with where we had left last time. Okay, so I have taught you how to create a Linux VM. We've learned few basic things into Linux, that how to check a file system, network, IP, and all that, host name, how to create a private DNS, that we have seen. Windows also same thing, right? Now where did we create the VM? We created the VM in a particular network, correct? So that network was already defined by Amazon, so we did not have to create it, right? Now we need to understand few things around networking. Okay, and then how a physical data center operates and how the cloud platform operates. Once that is learned and understood, you guys will be able to design your own networks tomorrow. Okay, so let's go and understand this thing. Now the problem with Google Meet is that I don't have a marker. Do you have a pen here? Whiteboard. Is my whiteboard visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so to learn networking, There are a lot of things in networking, but we are not going to look at everything, because then you'll have to look into a lot of things like the complete CCNA syllabus. So don't worry, we are not going to do that. Okay. I'm just going to teach you using a layman's language so that it is understood. We only need to understand. Okay. We need not to pass a certification in this. Neither you guys are going to work in the networking domain. No. We need to understand this so that we are able to troubleshoot this, or we are able to understand what's going around. Okay. Same like your mobile phone. Initially, nobody was used to Android, but now today, everybody has become an expert in Android. Did you guys take classes for that? No, that was a part of your interest. Correct. Using a mobile phone was a status quotient, and everyone want to, you know, show their status, right? So take this technology also the same way. Make sure that you learn this thing and you use this particular skill set to show off that you know the number of skills. Okay, then only you guys will have interest and learn things. Look at the figures, what you want: 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever you want in the future annually. Look at that figure and learn, then it will become easy. All right, so what I've drawn here is a data center. What is a data center? Where all the servers are kept, right? It's basically a cold storage, and inside a cold storage you have a data center. Air conditions running all the time, 24 into 7, electricity 24 into 7, internet connection 24 into 7, and servers there are kept in racks that are also online 24 into 7. And whose responsibility that is? This is a data center's responsibility. Okay. Now, in a particular data center, you will have a rack. Under a rack, you will have a server. Now, what is a server? This is same like your laptop and desktop. The only thing is it is a little bigger in size. Bigger in size, bigger in compute. Higher GB of RAM, higher processor, 1 terabyte of storage. That is also in RAID. RAID means 1, 2, 3, 4. RAID 0, RAID 3, RAID 5, RAID 10, which means it will have multiple hard drives, more than 2 hard drives. It can be 4, 8, 10, 16, any number. Network interface. Every single laptop at home only have one interface. What is a network interface? Where you get an IP address. In your Blade servers, which are these servers, you may have two or more than two network interfaces, more than two hard drives, more than two processors. So everything is doubled here. So that is why this is known as a server, a Blade server, okay, or a production grade server. This is the difference between your own laptop and a server. That is the only difference, guys. What is the difference here? Compute capacity. The one which provides you a higher capacity of compute becomes a server. A one which is used for home edition, like we are using, my laptop is like, chalo, that is also 16 GB because I do a lot of work. So I took 16 GB. But 4 GB of a laptop, 4 GB RAM ka laptop, and a dual quad core processor can suffice your situation. You can do a lot of activities there also. So that becomes your home computer. Okay. So the home computer will always have less compute capacity because you are not going to make that as a server. You are using that machine as a client machine. So this is your home computer is a client, and this guy is a server. Okay. Make sense, everyone? Clear, everyone, till here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So tell me one thing. If I say that this server is a Linux server, and it is there, huh? Assume ki what I am talking is a fact. So this is a Linux server. This is in one of the data centers. So is this VM same as the VM which we created here last week? Will that be same?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
येस.
काय समजना पण झाले आणि काय कळना पण
Yes, so the answer to that is
नाही
correct. Please
पूर्ण
go
इंग्लिश
on
आहे
mute.
ग. की विषय
Who is talking to their own family members in between and unmuting him. Please go on mute when you don't want to talk relevant according to the class, whoever it is. Okay. So the understanding was correct. The understanding was correct that the VM which we created in a data center can be same what we create here in the instances, because this VM what we create here is also in a data center. So as I told you, in Oregon region there should be more than two or more data centers in one region, correct? So in Oregon there are four data centers. How do we come to know about that? I taught you, right? In VPC there will be a parent network. Under the parent network you'll find subnets, and these subnets are actual data centers. These are known as availability zones in Amazon language. So basically, one subnet is one data center. This is going to be physically available somewhere on the globe. So let's consider this network. So let's take this one first, zero, this one. Okay. So let's take this network, talk about this. Okay. This will be my network. Now, what is this network? What role does it play? We have a lot of questions in our mind. So let's go to that one by one. Okay. Yes. So this is the same Linux virtual machine which we create on Amazon. So on Amazon, whatever you do actually happens on a data center. So this is the example of that. Let's consider this is one of our availability zones in our network. Okay. This is one of the availability zones in our network, which means this is one data center. And the network for this entire data center is this /20. The IP is 172.31.0.0. This entirely is known as a network ID. What it is known as? Network ID. And every data center will have a unique network ID. Okay. Now, what does this thing means? I'll tell you. This thing means that out of the entire data center, I have this network only for my servers, which means a particular portion in a data center, the rest of the portion of the data center can be owned by other vendor also, because data centers can be huge, right? Have you guys seen data center images on Google?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you know how many racks are there?
Yes, sir. There are plenty of.
See, these are the images of data centers, and you see this, these are all racks, and I'm talking about these racks only. Look at the racks. There are huge in numbers. Look at this picture. I'm talking about this one particular rack, and under that particular rack, you see this. ये जो खांचे हैं ना, these things are known as blade server panels. So here we keep the blade servers. They don't have the monitor. It is only a flat desktop. Okay. Server images. See, these are servers. You see this particular unit. This is one server. Okay. This is a server. They are racked like this. This is kept in a rack. You see this? These are nuts. So when you put this server in a rack, you have to nut it. Okay. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this server also has the same material which is there in your laptop. This will have a motherboard. That motherboard will have a processor. It will have RAM. The only difference is here you will have multiple slots. You will have 2 to 4 processors. For RAM, you will have at least 4 slots. For hard drive also, you will have at least 4 slots. You will have a Ethernet port. You will have a USB port, HDMI port, RJ45 port is already done, audio port, video port, and then rest whatever comes in your normal hardware, everything will be there, and that will also be in double in number. So if your local laptop contains 2 to 3 USB ports, this might have 6, something like that, all double in number. Why? Because it's a server. You need multiple connectivity, correct? So this is how the normal architecture of a data center is. Okay, anyhow, coming back, we are talking about this Linux server, correct? Now I'm talking about one particular network. So what will happen is, in one particular data center, you may have other vendors also. Let's say if this is my Amazon data center. So this is owned by Amazon, that is for sure. Okay, Amazon do not take other data centers on lease. Amazon is a very rich company and they have their own data centers. I am teaching you this thing generically. I'm teaching you this thing generically so that you can compare it with any cloud platform. Let's say I'm talking about a data center which is a private data center, not a cloud provider's data center. It's a private data center in London or in any part of the UK. Now, data centers require cool climate. So, you cannot afford that in India. There are data centers in India, but they are very expensive. Why? Because we have very, finely exquisite electricity, which is very expensive in India. Correct? The same thing is opposite in European countries. So you will always find huge number of data centers in European countries. Why? Because by default the temperature there is in minus. So the electricity used to cool the servers required is very less, and the electricity is also not that much of expensive. They use commercial lines, correct? So that is why you'll find most of the data centers in European countries. So anyhow, in one of the European countries, let's say Poland, I have this data center, private data center, and where I have taken one rack. This is only one rack. Let's say I have a very small company, I have only one rack. In one rack I have servers, and out of the 10 servers I'm talking about this one server. Okay, so how does it work, guys? When we do this kind of a work, we need to define a private network. That is the reason we need to know networking, because all these concepts will come under your AWS cloud. Once you understand this thing, you will be able to create your own clouds. Okay, so how does this network ID and IP addresses behave with your network? So what happens is, guys, that here on this Linux, we have to designate one IP address out of this network. It will be a private IP address. So let's consider the IP given to this VM is 172.31.0.5. This is the IP, correct? Now, this IP is physically given to this VM. Now, let's say I logged into this Linux VM using SSH, and from there I ping google.com. Now, tell me, will google.com ping work for me or will it not work? You can relate this to Amazon cloud platform. We created a machine, from there we ping Google and it was working, correct? So same like that, I created the same VM on this data center in this rack, and I am pinging Google. So will it work or will it not work?
It will work, sir.
It will work.
If the data center is connected to the external IP and DNS is there, then it will work. Otherwise, it's private, so we cannot ping the Google directly.
Excellent. Who answered this?
Rajiv sir.
Excellent. Very good answer. Okay, so this is the understanding, guys. The thing is, I told you that we are creating this server and I have assigned this private IP. So private IP से तुम Google ping कर सकते हो. If you do not have an internet connection at home, can you ping Google from your local laptop?
No, sir, we can't.
So this is the same thing. Unless you have a Wi-Fi connection at home, who actually provides you a public network, you cannot ping google.com, because Google is not free, guys. We pay a monthly subscription so that Google is available to everyone free. We have taken that for granted, fortunately, because we feel कि Google free है. Google is open source. No, Google is not free. We are paying for internet. अगर internet है तो Google है. Okay. The moment your data plan is, finished, and you're not able to do anything on your smartphone, you feel like throwing that because it's hopeless. You can do anything with that phone because it does not have an internet, right? The same case here, guys. It requires an internet connection. Why you guys didn't ask me that question? Because it did not click your mind ना, इस तरीके से कभी सोचा ही नहीं तुम लोगों ने, right? So think it that way. If your phone does not have an internet connection, you cannot do anything. The same like that, if your server does not have an internet connection, how will it ping Google? No, it will not. So who is responsible for you to give internet connection? This guy, data center. And that is why we keep our servers at data centers ना. नहीं तो हम लोग तो घर में भी रख सकते हैं उसको. Right or wrong? If I उसको अगर मैं एयर कंडीशन के अंदर रखूं घर पे रैक लाकर, जो कि many people does that. Many offices have got their in-house data centers. They've bought in racks, they've kept in the servers there, and they have the cooling method there. So they are also working with a private data center, right? But what is the significance of a data center? Because it provides you 24 into 7 power, electricity, and dedicated internet connection. Which means if that internet connection is down, the data center is responsible to provide you another line of internet connection. मतलब स्टैंड बाय पे they will have multiple internet connections. ठीक है? So whose responsibility is that? The data center. But the data center will just provide you the internet connection. The configuration of that is in our hand. Make sense? So that is the thing we need to learn and understand here. Okay. So let's say data center tells you, hey bhai, use our internet connection. So now what's next? So the next is the next technical concept here, and that is switching and routing. Okay. So on physical servers, if you want internet connection, you need to understand basics of switching and routing, and then you will be able to do this with every virtual private cloud, every cloud provider, or every wherever this particular thing comes in now, you will be able to do that. Okay. So I'm creating two virtual devices. One is known as a router. This is a router. This is the property of a data center always. And then I'm bringing this guy in. This is a switch. This is the customer's responsibility. He has to bring in. Okay. If the customer does not have it, the customer can lease it from the data center. The data centers are there to give you the switches also on lease, or you can purchase it from the market and put it in the data center. The data center will not mind it because this is customer's responsibility. Now, how the configuration works, let me tell you. Let's again take the example of the Wi-Fi route. You tell me, when you get a new internet connection at home, your Wi-Fi, how do you connect your Wi-Fi to your smartphones or a smart TV or your own laptops or a desktop? How do you connect that?
Sir, first we toggle on the Wi-Fi button in our smartphone. Then we find the Wi-Fi network, which we just install. And then for security, we add a password. And then we connect to our home network Wi-Fi.
Wow, excellent. It's a correct answer. But into all this, what has happened here is sometimes I feel how far have we come? I have asked you very basic question, but you answered it also correctly. But the middle thing, the cream part of that, we all missed. Basically, what did you mention? Wi-Fi, right? Is it? You said you
Yes,
connect to
sir.
that through a Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is a technology, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you specify how does Wi-Fi work? No.
सर एक्चुअली सर बेसिकली जो ऑप्टिकल फाइबर की केबल होती है उसके थ्रू कनेक्शंस आते हैं और वाईफाई का जो राउटर होता है वो इन कनेक्शन को बस स्प्रेड करता है अक्रॉस उसकी जितनी रेंज है और फिर उस रेंज के अंदर जो भी डिवाइस हम ला सकते हैं कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं तो वो वाईफाई का जो राउटर है वो डिवाइस को इंटरनेट प्रोवाइड कर सकता है.
Correct. Absolutely correct. This is the only uh, way how the Wi-Fi should work, and that's absolutely correct. Was everyone aware of this? I'm not really sure, but the
Yes,
answer
sir.
was correct.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But yes, there are other things also. This is not so easy as it looks or sounds like. But anyhow, we don't need to get into all that. The main part here is, unless you have a Wi-Fi, you cannot connect to your devices on the Wi-Fi. Correct? Right or wrong?
Right, sir.
And that is not correct actually. It's a wrong thing. Let me tell you, your Wi-Fi device also has a RJ45 connector, na,
Yes.
Yes.
where you can connect the LAN cable, right?
Right.
Right.
So have you tried connecting your LAN cable with your Wi-Fi router to your laptop? Do you get internet connection via that?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
We'll
Yes.
get.
Yes,
So
but
then
we have
how
to set
can,
up. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
you don't need to set up anything. You just
IP.
connect your no, you just need to connect your LAN cable to your Wi-Fi router and to your laptop, and there you select the option as select the network automatically. That's it. Okay, it will be either a dial-in connection where you put the
Hmm.
username and password.
Right, right.
Right. So it's a dial-in connection. Basically, it will ask you there only. When you say connect automatically network, it will immediately detect the network because of the LAN cable. The Wi-Fi router will actually try to give him the IP, but before the IP, it will ask you username password hai kya? Wi-Fi router ka. So you will put in the username and password, and it will get connected. That's the only configuration. Okay. Now, then why did we answer it like this? Ki we can only connect it through Wi-Fi. Okay, because we are used to use that. We have become used to using that technology, so we have actually forgotten कि Wi-Fi के पीछे there is a wired connection, and because of the wired connection we are using a Wi-Fi. Correct? So same way here in a data center we can use Wi-Fi also, but no, physical computers, production servers, and this IT industry actually does not work on the Wi-Fi. They work on the physical wiring connections. Okay, so what happens is the main internet connection to the data center comes from outside, from the vendors, let's say Geo, Airtel, BSNL, or whatever. These are the three different internet connection lines. These are known as lease lines. Lease lines are commercial lines, guys. These are not broadband connections. Broadband are for home users like you and me. I'm also one of them, of course. I use a broadband connection, but it's a fiber to home connection. Okay, somebody has bought me a fiber and I use that fiber at home channel. Okay, so this is my connection. But I'm talking about a data center. They cannot rely on broadband. They want huge bandwidth, 1 terabyte, 10 terabyte, 100 terabytes per second. That is the speed. And who gives you that much of speed? Your internet service provider only gives you, but they give you in the form of fiber optic cable and a lease line, which means this line is dedicated to the data center. You know what does it mean? Let's say if this is the office or the data center of ISP here, they've given you a private connection from their office, their data center to your data center, which means whatever traffic will travel from that from the internet provider to your data center will always be in a tunnel like this. Okay. Anyhow, we are not bothered about this also. This is the data center ka kaam. They will take care of this. The fiber optic comes into the router. This is the thing which we need to understand. Where it comes into the router. From the router, they give you a LAN cable, the RJ45 connector wali cable. If you guys have not seen it, Google it and understand what is RJ45 connector and what is a LAN cable. That should be your homework today. Okay, that LAN cable is given to every client. So I am also one of the client. So that comes into the switch of the customer. So basically, when I say that I'm using this network, now I will configure this network on the switch 172.31, and the internet connection का line जो आया है मुझे router से, that will go in the uplink of my switch. What does it mean? कि अगर मैं यहाँ से अब गूगल को पिंग करूंगा तो ये ट्रैफिक सबसे पहले स्विच पे जाएगा because all the servers in the rack are connected to the switch. Now this switch becomes a Wi-Fi router for me. The only difference is मैंने वाईफाई से कनेक्ट नहीं किया है, मैंने अब उसको केबल से कनेक्ट किया हुआ है. That is the only difference. ठीक है. So what will happen? सबसे पहले तो this switch will provide the IP addresses to every server here, because if they are connected, this work is done by a switch. And what is the network? This network. Because this network we will only configure. We will configure the switch with this network that, hey, listen, you are going to work on 172.31.0 on 0 with the subnet of 20. What is this? We'll learn later. फिलहाल इतना समझो कि we are going to configure this. So what switch does? Switch gives this IP address, which means the IP address from this range is given to all the servers in this rack. After that, if I ping Google from here, this traffic will go to the switch. Why? Because these servers only know this switch. They don't know who is Google. They don't know who are you. They don't know who are the data center. These are dummy servers, and the servers will only do that much of activity what they are instructed to do, because they are not robots, right? So this is how things work. This server will communicate to the switch. Now, how does the traffic go to the google.com? So the switch will take the traffic to the router. Why? Because if you see, इंटरनेट कनेक्शन किसने दिया मेरे को? राउटर ने दिया, राइट? तो स्विच से निकला हुआ सारा ट्रैफिक राउटर को जाएगा. एंड व्हाट इज द वर्क ऑफ द राउटर? व्हाट इज द work of this router as a device? This router, a device, connects multiple networks. So it converts the private network into public and the public network into private, and vice versa. So when you send google.com a ping from a router, the router will throw the traffic outside to the ISP. And ISP, internet service provider, is responsible to find the google.com ka server over the entire planet. Our planet, I mean, not the other planet. Find the Google server, get the acknowledgement of the ping from somewhere, and then traverse it to the server back with the same channel. और यहाँ पे हमको पिंग का रिस्पॉन्स आता है. Understood? Make sense? How the traffic flows in the data center.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we need to understand two things here. One is this, कि how to create this network, ये पूरा, in and out of this particular thing. And the second thing is, while this traffic is flowing from one part to another, do we need to make sure of few things? Yes, we do need to make sure of few things, and that is that is the next thing which we are going to learn. Anyways, any questions till now?
No,
No, sir. Clear.
So tomorrow, if anybody asks you how data center works, will you guys be able to give a short 5 to 7 minutes description?
yes.
Yes.
Looking at this recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now this specific question is to those people who said that we were going a little bit of fast. So are we going with the normal pace now, or you guys still feel that we are going fast? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Nazneen, you there? I think it's Nazneen, right?
Yeah.
So is this pace okay with you, or you still feel we are going fast?
No, it's okay. I didn't say anything to any counselor, hey Amir. I just inform what I want to tell you.
No, that's fine. That's why I'm asking you now, because we have taken that as a positive feedback, and that is the reason it's my responsibility to confirm with everyone if you are understanding it. If you're not, then I will have to explain that to you again.
Yeah, it's good.
Right or wrong?
Right.
So if you were in my place, you would have done the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I'm asking you. Now you feel, is it okay, or you still
Yeah,
feel we
it's
are going
good.
fast?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. There was other guy also.
Yeah, it's fine, Amir, right now.
Okay. Do you guys have any question till now? See, I don't want you to learn everything right now, but you feel you should ask something, you didn't understand anything. Ask me. This is the time. Other people will wait. They have to wait. Tell me. Any question around anything?
Sir, I have one question, but it's not related to today's session. Can I?
Yeah, go on.
Sir, I actually joined today, so I don't know what happened in past lecture. So, what are the prerequisite for tomorrow's lecture?
What is your good name?
Sir, my good name is Ameya Nivargi.
Okay. I also got a message from other guy on the LMS, I believe. Anis. Anis, are you there?
Yes, Amir, sir.
Okay, so see, guys, what we have done is we have actually taken 3 sessions till now. This is today is the fourth session. Okay. The first session was the introductory session where I have informed people to create their AWS account. For that, I had given them links first. On the second and third session, we actually created the account. We created a Linux VM, Windows VM, and we learned the basics of that particular thing around the Linux and Windows, basic things like, private DNS, ping, IP, basics. We have done that much. And today we started from there. Okay, so this much we have completed. So prerequisite is nothing to this course. I am teaching you guys everything from the scratch. Okay, that you can identify from the lecture one. What you guys need to do is take all the previous recordings, which is already there on the LMS, refer to that, create your free AWS account, and whatever I have been doing in the sessions, you have to copy paste that, which means wo karna hai tumko. That is your homework. And while doing it, you should understand it. If you do not understand it, ask me on the WhatsApp group. If you're added to the WhatsApp group, good. If not, ask your counselors to add you. If you're able to get the links, good. If not, ask your counselors to give it to you. It's on the LMS. Okay. I've shared few links. I will share that links again today on LMS, and I will put that on the WhatsApp group also. You have to refer the links. These are your e-links, which means, in school we used to get the documents, books. So today we don't use books, we use e-links. So these e-links will be like books for you. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's continue then. All right. So we were on the server, the switch and the router, correct? So now we have seen how the traffic flows. But how does the traffic flow? There should be a logic, right? How my server know? Let's say this is my server number 2, this is my server number 1 in a data center. How will server number 2 understand that I have to go to this switch only? I can have two switches also in one rack, and I can have both the switches connected to one server. That is also possible. So how will this server know that I have to go to this switch number 1 and not switch number 2? Right? Logic, no?
Depends
सर
traffic.
जब हम वो सर्वर कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं तब हमें पोर्ट स्पेसिफाई करना पड़ता है कि इस पोर्ट के थ्रू पूरा जाना चाहिए ऐसा.
How will that port come to know that my traffic should go to this switch?
Network address.
No. Network address, this is the network address /20. And this is the parent network. पूरे network को मैंने ये दिया है, which means जितने भी racks इस network में आएंगे, उन सबका parent ये है, mother. और जो IP मुझे मिला है 0.5 इस VM पे, it is a child of that network. वो मतलब एक
Yes.
ही IP है. But ये IP जो है, why do we use an IP to send the traffic outside your network and to also receive the traffic from other networks? That is why IP address is there for communication. Same like your mobile phone number. If you do not have a mobile, or let's say you have a mobile but you don't have a SIM card, matlab you don't have a number, can you communicate? No.
No.
Same logic. If you do not, you have a server, you have the supercomputer from NASA. If it does not have the operating system, will that work? If it does
No.
not have an IP address, will that work? It will not
No.
work, right? So your IP will only be responsible to send the traffic in and out through a particular port. Chalo, that is also understood. But how will that IP understand that I have to go to this switch?
बिकॉज इस सर्वर का जो नेटवर्क इंटरफेस कार्ड है उससे जो केबल जिस स्विच पे कनेक्ट होगा फिजिकल पोर्ट पे
No, not, that is not the correct answer. Let's say मेरे
Actually,
सर्वर पे दो पोर्ट है.
hello,
Yeah,
through firewall.
no.
Like on router, there is routing table, no? So,
राउट टेबल्स
hello.
राउट टेबल तो राउट टेबल हैव गॉन फार. भी हम लोग सर्वर और
Okay.
के बीच में ही है. राउटर तो बाद में आ रहा है ना उसके.
Okay. So in every, I think in that message or packet, some source address and destination address is
करेक्ट. पिंग
mentioned.
में तो है ना. मैं जब पिंग कर रहा हूँ www.google.com, तो सोर्स का एड्रेस आ गया मेरे खुद का प्राइवेट आईपी और डेस्टिनेशन आ गया google.com. वो तो समझ में आ गया. और ये ट्रैफिक लेकर मेरा पिंग रिक्वेस्ट निकल गया यहाँ से. बट तो रिक्वेस्ट जो निकला है उस रिक्वेस्ट को क्या मालूम कि मेरे को कहाँ पे जाना है?
लोड बैलेंसर आता है कि इसमें?
नहीं
बैलेंसर का कुछ भी लेना नहीं है इसमें.
ओके.
अच्छा चलो, विल टेक अ रियल
MAC
एग्जांपल.
address, means physical address of that machine.
Let's take a real example of that. Where are you guys from? All from Pune or from different cities?
डिफरेंट
Different cities. Let's say you have to travel to Mumbai from your home. Will you be able to go?
यस
Yes, sir.
How?
Sir, any mode of transport.
Number of options.
Two different routes.
Use transport.
Good.
अच्छा. बहुत ज्यादा आगे निकल गए तुम लोग. Basically, when you go to Mumbai, initially you will be at home, correct? So first of all, you will go out of your home, ना?
राइट
Right,
घर
sir.
के बाहर कैसे जाते हो? दरवाजे से जाते हो कि खिड़की से जाते हो?
Darwaza. Door.
So what is that door? That door is a gateway.
Gateway.
Yes.
That door is a gateway. If you do not have a door, first of all, and you don't have a window also at home, then you will not be able to go out. Correct? Now, another thing. If I blindfold you and I put you in a locked room where your hands are also tied, you don't know where is the door. Will you be able to go out of your door? No. And
No.
that is this ping request. उसके हाथ और आंख दोनों बंधे हुए, उसको नहीं पता. This is how this technology works. Okay. So when you ping something now, nothing happens automatically in our life. So as this AI industry, everything is programmed. Okay. So you require a gateway for you also to go out of your home. You require a gateway, your door. वहां से तुम बाहर निकलोगे and then you go somewhere to the bus stop or the railway station or the flight or the port जहाँ से तुम जहाज पकड़ सको. And that using that mode of transport, you reach to the destination. Now you have reached to the destination because you were able to go out of the gateway. Okay. So this particular thing is known as a gateway. Okay. Every server in this planet will have a gateway. Until and unless it has a gateway, the traffic on the server will not be able to go to the switch. Okay. Now you tell me, on my local laptop, who is the switch now? Or maybe in your home, on your local laptop or a desktop, who is the switch? Is it
The firewall?
फायरवॉल? कहाँ से आ जा रहा है बीच में? फायरवॉल के बारे में बात भी कर रहा हूँ कि मैं. Are we talking about firewall?
I'm just trying to guess things.
No, I will never ask you a question which will have an answer which I have not even used that word for. Okay, so firewall is out of question. उसको बाजू में रख दो एकदम.
घर के पर्सनल लैपटॉप में लाइक अपना जो डीएसएल ब्रॉडबैंड है वो दैट इज अ गेटवे.
No, but in very simple language मैंने पूछा कि in our home's network, who is acting as a switch? Is it not our Wi-Fi router?
Yes, sir.
यस.
Because तुम्हारे लैपटॉप को नेटवर्क कौन दे रहा है?
Wi-Fi
तुमने खुद
router.
तो कॉन्फ़िगर नहीं किया है ना तुम्हारे घर में 192 का नेटवर्क, राइट?
नो.
नाउ लुक एट दिस. ये मेरा पर्सनल लैपटॉप है. यहाँ पे मैं कमांड फायर करता हूँ, आईपी कॉन्फ़िग. ये आ गया मेरा 192 का नेटवर्क. ये मैंने खुद ने नहीं दिया, ये मेरे वाईफाई राउटर ने दिया मुझे. अभी तुम लोग भी अपने लैपटॉप पे कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट पे जाओ और वो कमांड फायर करो, आईपी कॉन्फ़िग. तुमको एक नेटवर्क मिलेगा यहाँ पे. एक तो 192 का मिलेगा, एक तो 10 का मिलेगा, या तो ये 172.31 या 172.168 ऐसा मिलेगा. इसको बोलते हैं प्राइवेट नेटवर्क. तो ये नेटवर्क हमने तो नहीं दिया ना, राइट? तो ऐसे होता है. तो बेसिकली this particular server will have a network which this switch only will give him. This switch will give him one particular IP of this network because this network is defined on the switch. Okay? And when this server will ping google.com, this request will go to the switch. Why? Because there is a default gateway set on the server. And what is the default gateway? The default gateway is the IP address of the switch. And the proof to that is this. Look at my command prompt. What is the default gateway? 192.168.50.1, right? What is this 50.1? This is the IP address of my Wi-Fi router. That is why when I ping Google, I'm able to get a response, right? How? Because my ping requests with my private IP address, which is 192.168.50.135, will always go to the switch. स्विच के बाद में वो कहाँ पे गया, वो स्विच का प्रॉब्लम है, which means my internet service provider will take care from there. बट यहाँ तक का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन मेरे को पता है. मेक सेंस एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Trash sets.
Is it understood to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trash set command, sir.
Is Earth.
Yeah, trash set. 1 second.
Insert
Only trash root. Trash set.
विंडोज इसलिए मुझे पसंद नहीं आता. लिनक्स में ढूंढ के अभी तक आंसर मिल गया होता.
Trash root. ये भी नहीं चल रहा.
Okay.
Let's make trash art and then कोई वेबसाइट का नाम.
Yeah.
Like google.com.
Anyways, there are two tools, nslookup and tracead. Okay, these are Windows provided utilities. nslookup google.com. तो देखो, कहाँ से गया ट्रैफिक? सबसे पहले the traffic has gone to your switch. From switch it has gone to google.com. This is the address IPv6 and this is IPv4. NS lookup will tell you this. Now trace it and will use which domain? Google.com, publicly available domain. Now see how many hops, कितने hops. Now what is this hop? सबसे पहले it has gone to the switch. अभी switch से it is traveling. Now over a maximum of 30 hops. You know what is a hop? First the traffic will go to your switch. From switch my internet service provider is actually searching for the next hop. It is searching कि google.com तक पहुंचने के लिए मुझे कितने सर्वर्स को क्रॉस करना पड़ेगा. So I'm still on switch. Let's see how much time it will take. Tracing route to google.com. उसको public IP मिला. This is a publicly available IP. Okay. So what will happen is this is the way how we can find out is my traffic routed properly or not. Why am I showing you that? If you need to troubleshoot something, you can use this. Let's say you have done ns lookup google.com. And if you're not able to find the IP of your switch now, which means the configuration has a problem. There only you get the answer key. You're not able to reach your switch only. And how the traffic will go outside the switch. Right or wrong?
Right.
Done. This is what I actually wanted to make you understand. So now you understand when I ping google.com, if I'm getting a response, which means that traffic is reaching the switch. Okay, clear?
Yep.
Now, that is not exactly the correct or the specific answer to it. After the switch, what happens? Now, let's say the traffic has reached the switch. From switch, how the thing will go to the google.com?
Switch will forward the packets to the router.
Correct. Now, the same tendency what the switch is doing, the server is doing, the switch will also do the same thing. Why? Because that is also the same device, networking device. Servers, switches and routers, they all are known as networking devices. And the networking devices will do the same thing. Okay. Switch has a default gateway. और इसके डिफॉल्ट गेटवे में इस राउटर का एक पर्टिकुलर प्राइवेट आईपी दिया हुआ है. And that private IP will be given to you by the data center because router is the data center's asset, correct? And router has multiple private networks. There will be many networks. Out of that, the router will be given one particular network to a client. तो वो IP एड्रेस हम लोगों को राउटर के स्विच के डिफॉल्ट गेटवे में ऐड करना पड़ता है. So then the traffic will go from switch to the router, and from router it will take the ISP's route, go to google.com and it will search it. See, right now the request has hung somehow. So it's not able to calculate this one. Okay, I'll show you this in Linux. It works very well with Linux. Okay, finally what will happen here after 4 or 5 hops, same as it is shown in this link. See, after 7 hops it is getting Google, because Google server are in America, right? So to reach America, the traffic sent from my laptop will have to traverse through 7 different servers in this continent. Make sense now, everyone?
Yes.
Elevation. What is this elevation? Okay, now all these commands are already given here in your bloggers page. I've given you road to Devops, right? Basic and networking, you have these links. Okay, all this what we are learning here are documented here. Okay, now coming back to our architecture. So this is how the normal connection looks like. Okay, the traffic will be routed to the switch. The switch will be sending the traffic to the router. And you know that other thing which you guys were telling, that it has a route table and the MAC address. That is also correct, but that is something which we should look into when we create our own servers, then we will look into that. But that actually does not matter at all. We are just talking about the physical network. Okay. When server 2 pings google.com for the very first time, all these things happens for the very first time, that it will go to the switch. The switch will then note down the IP address of this machine and the MAC address of the machine in the route table of the switch. So next time when server 2 pings google.com, the switch will understand that the traffic is intended for google.com, and that will send the traffic to the router directly. So that is the internal work. So that is actually not required. We were learning the physical part of the switching and routing. Okay, so this is how the network traffic and the packets are traversed from one location to another. Now, the second best thing what we need to learn here is this, that how does this IP makes a difference? Now, did you guys understand what we were trying to learn? Any questions still here?
No, sir.
Okay. Why, why were we learning all this? Because of this thing. Now see, when we create a virtual machine here, it gets a public IP and a private IP automatically, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Right.
How how does it get it? Because of the VPC and subnetwork, correct? Now, do
Yes.
you think that when I create a VM and when I log into the VM, I can ping google.com and I'm getting a response? So what do you think? Do you have a switch here somewhere?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So if my VM is getting a response from google.com, there must be a switch and router both, right or wrong?
Right.
Correct. So switch is known as a route table in Amazon, and internet gateway is a router. These are the two entities. These are the components.
Mm.
Okay. The only thing is we do not get a chance to configure it ourselves. Why? Because Amazon Cloud Platform is a managed service. So all the resources they are creating for us, they are all virtual in nature. And that is the difference between the cloud computing platform and a physical data center. Otherwise, what I have taught you here is going to remain same with every data center and with every cloud provider. Cloud provider has given you a UI like this, which is our AWS management console. And from here, you are managing the entire data center or data centers. We spoke about just one. They are giving you enormous data centers, right? And if I'm only talking about physical data centers, so all this work, creating a switch, configuring a switch, connecting it to the physical server, configuring the servers, installing the operating system manually, everything will be done by you physically. And this we used to do in our previous jobs. I have done all this work physically by myself, configuring the entire rack for my customer. Now I don't do this because I have a UI console now, AWS management console. We don't use data centers now, we use cloud platforms because they're also providing us the same piece of service now. But here the life has become easy. This physical configuration will not take less than 48 hours. And this VM, which means this VM, I can create on the cloud platform in less than 4.5 minutes. This is the transformation. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to this place, this thing, route table acts as a switch, and this internet gateway acts as a router. Okay. So Amazon has already given you a default network. This is the default network. This is their subnet, which means under this network, these are 4 data centers. So how it looks like? It looks like this. 1 second.
Switch.
So how it looks like here is this Amazon. Let's say this is the Amazon cloud platform where you have created an account. Okay. There is a virtual network address given 172.31, but this is the main network. Now there are 4 data centers. Now don't consider this Amazon cloud. Just consider this as the entire planet Earth. On this globe, these are 4 data centers. Where are these data centers? In Oregon, which means this becomes one geographical location in America. Okay, so under American Oregon region, there are 4 physical data centers, and every one of them can be identified through a subnet. Which subnet? These 4 subnets. So what happens here is every subnet gets a IP address range. So let's say this is the first one. Okay, so this will get an IP. Then this one, all of them. Okay, so now what we need to understand is when I create a VM in this, what happens first, and then how it is getting the IP, and what is the significance of that IP. So let's go and create a VM now. Launch instance. So now it will make more sense to you. Test VM, Linux. Image same, everything same. Okay. You see subnet, we'll edit it. VPC subnet, we'll create this in this subnet. See the subnet ID, copy this subnet ID. While creating it, we'll search it. Okay, how to search it? VPCD ID, no, subnet ID, US West 2C. Okay, so subnet US West 2C, which is it? US West 2C. This is the one, correct? So we select this one. So what did we do here according to our this one? We selected this one for the VM to be created. So the VM will be created here in this network, which means the parent network is this, but physical data center will be this. Okay, this is how we do it. Then security group, we already have existing one, so let's use that security group. My SD. That's it. Done. Now with this information, we are able to create a VM, right? Right or wrong?
Right, sir.
Yes.
Now, if you look at this architecture, can I say that we did the same thing? We created this virtual machine now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
right? And now tell me, this virtual machine will get an IP. Who will give this IP to the virtual machine?
Amazon.
No. In the data center, if I created a VM, who is responsible to give him an IP?
Which?
Switch.
IP gateway.
Switch. Switch is the correct answer. Switch will give him the IP. So here in Amazon Cloud Platform, who is the switch?
That subnet.
It is the route table. This guy route table is acting as a switch. This will give basically the IP address to this machine. But somehow the other answer is also correct, subnet. Eventually, the switch is responsible to give the IP address to the server. But basically, in cloud platform, subnet is the one from where the IPs are being assigned. But the work which is done, actually, assigning the IP address to a particular virtual machine, that work will be done by the switch. And that is route table in case of Amazon Cloud Platform. So partially both the answers are correct. Subnets and route tables both are responsible to give the IP address to the VM. Now you see, this VM has got a private IP. What is the private IP? 172.31.14.49. This belongs to this network. Okay. Now if I click on this network and you see the route table, who is your route table? 3E5. Is this the one? Yes, this is the guy. Correct. So what does it mean? This subnet, this switch is connected. So can I say whatever we have learned till now is correct? See, if this VM is a part of any network that is connected to a particular switch. So here also in this diagram, this subnet is connected to a particular switch. Okay, whose ID is this one, 3E5. Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now here the good thing is all these four subnets now are connected to the same switch. That is this one route table. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what does it mean? It means all the physical data centers. Now try and understand this. ये थोड़ा सा बड़ा होते जा रहा है. Okay? और अभी तुम लोग थोड़ा सा वास्ट सोचो, बड़ा सोचो. What we are talking here is these four data centers are spreaded across one region, Oregon. Oregon is very huge. Okay, it's a huge geographical location. So they are all in a different time zone also. बहुत दूर एक दूसरे से ये चारों डेटा सेंटर्स, लेकिन इनको एक ही स्विच कनेक्ट किए हुए है. मतलब ट्रैफिक मेरा यहां से भी आएगा, यहां से भी आएगा, यहां से भी आएगा, यहां से भी आएगा, और फिर ये स्विच किसी राउटर को कनेक्टेड है, और फिर वो ट्रैफिक बाहर जाने वाला है. आ रहा है समझ में सबको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And who is managing this on the top of everything?
Data.
Amazon VPC.
Amazon.
करेक्ट. Amazon वेब सर्विसेज और उसके अंडर में VPC एज ए सर्विस. तो VPC के अंडर क्या आएगा? सबनेट. सबनेट के बाद कौन आएगा? राउट टेबल स्विच. अभी तक हमने इतना ही देखा है, राउट टेबल अभी देखेंगे. इधर तक समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, again, any questions till now? Please go ahead. Now see, whatever we are learning now, as I said, now means now, these things you guys will need when you will actually start working on our project. And when you will learn throughout 3 months, and down the line 3 months, when you'll go for interviews, when these people will ask you questions, trust me, when you do this from scratch, and when you do your self study at home कि ये कैसे हुआ, वो कैसे होना चाहिए, इसके बाद क्या होगा, अभी मुझे आगे क्या करना है, all the answers you will get it from these recordings, because whatever we teach are on the basis of a valid reason. आज जो मैंने पढ़ा वो शायद कल तुमको काम ना आए, इमीडिएटली कल संडे को जब हम लोग डेवॉप्स की पढ़ाई अगली वीक शुरू करेंगे, शायद तब भी ना आए, लेकिन वन फाइन डे डाउन द लाइन 3 मंथ्स जब हम लोग ये कोर्स को कंप्लीट करेंगे, और जब तुम लोग इंटरव्यूज को जाओगे, एंड व्हेन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन इन द वेरी फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट, ये पूछ क्या रहा है, ये पूछना क्या चाहता है मेरे को, व्हेन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दिस क्वेश्चन ना, दैट टाइम यू विल रियलाइज कि अच्छा इसलिए पढ़ा था क्या. ओके, एंड दैट थिंग विल स्टैंड यू आउट amongst the other candidates who will come for the DevOps interview. Make sense, everyone? That is why this is important. तो इसको तुम लोग thoroughly पढ़ो, इसमें कुछ भी practical करना नहीं है तुम. Whatever I am teaching you right now, you have to learn and understand and practice that on Amazon. Make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So any questions till now?
Amir,
No.
yeah. Is there any documents for the same? You have shared the links. I went through all the links. But is there any documents what we can refer?
Only for, no, the thing is ki only for networking I don't have any document like this, you know. One second, let me show you. See, I have bloggers page for every tool, for Bastion, even for charging, you know, waiver of AWS charges के लिए है, सारी material है, Terraform है, AWS CLI है, for everything I have except networking. The reason is networking is a very very vast concept. DevOps से 3 गुना ज्यादा बड़ा है वो. ठीक है? So even if I start creating a page for that, you guys will get confused big time. So my solid recommendation is कि whatever we do in the class now, only for networking, you refer the recordings, take the references from the links I have shared, and then practice it at your end while looking at the recordings. क्योंकि
Correct.
उतना ही अपने को जरूरत है नेटवर्किंग डेवऑप्स में, उससे ज्यादा की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. मेक सेंस?
Yeah.
या अदर देन दैट बाकी के सारे टॉपिक्स के ब्लॉगर्स पेज है मेरे, क्योंकि वो अपन एंड टू एंड पढ़ने वाले हैं. नेटवर्किंग में उतना ही मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ तुमको जितने की जरूरत है और जितनी आगे पढ़ सकती है. नेटवर्किंग इज वेरी वास्ट. ये जो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं दैट इज नोन एज नेटवर्किंग एन प्लस, मतलब नेटवर्किंग का वेरी बेसिक. उसके बाद में आता है नेटवर्किंग, उसके बाद में आता है सीसीएनए, उसके बाद में आता है सीसीआईई, और उसके बाद में और भी बहुत कुछ है. इतना वास्ट है वो.
सीसीएनपी, सीसीआई.
करेक्ट. तो उतने की हमको अभी जरूरत है नहीं. अपने को जरूरत है ये छोटा मोटा जो बेसिक्स में पढ़ा. दिस इज वेरी बेसिक. ये एक्चुअली कॉलेज के फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ाते हैं नेटवर्किंग. जब वो शुरू करते हैं ना, दे टीच यू एट दैट टाइम. आई डोंट नो इतने थरली वो लोग ने पढ़ाया होगा कि नहीं तुमको. आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर. बट एक्चुअली ये जितनी भी चीजें हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं ना, ये फिजिकली पढ़ाना चाहिए कॉलेजेस में. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है उनको बच्चों को लेके जाओ रैक के पास, सर्वर के पास, स्विच के पास, राउटर के पास, दिखाओ उनको इस तरीके से होता है. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स वर्क इन रियल. एनी हाउ, let's come back to the point. So I recommend this thing. Is it okay with you guys? I mean, do you want a document to be created for this?
No, no, it's okay.
Okay, I will take this as a suggestion also. Let me create a simplified document on networking also. Let's do this work. But meanwhile, nothing is stopping you from referring these recordings and learning the networking part. Okay? All right. So any questions till here, till the switching part?
नो.
अब सर, हाँ, एक बार वो वीपीसी का थोड़ा बता दीजिए. मेरा थोड़ा नेटवर्क का प्रॉब्लम हुआ था थोड़ा, जब राउटिंग और टेबल का डिफरेंट, बस 2 मिनट में.
No problem. You can anytime refer this recording after the class. Okay?
ओके.
These are getting recorded. Don't worry. You can look at or listen to the recordings multiple times.
सर वो जो पहले वाले आपने डायग्राम निकाले थे वो एक बार लाइक स्टार्ट टू एंड 2 मिनट में वो वापस ब्रश अप कर सकते हो जो प्रोसेस किया था लाइक. हाँ ये वाला.
वाला.
हाँ एक बार तो वापस से वो समझ में आएगा, मतलब रिलेट कर पाएंगे स्टार्टिंग से.
हम लोग अभी वही करने वाले हैं AWS में. We are going to create a network. Okay? We are going to create this network. Anyhow, see, in your data center, you have this thing, a rack. This is your rack. Okay? These are your servers. And in every rack, you will have a switch. मैंने उसको बाहर बनाया हुआ है, but this switch will be inside the rack here on the very top. ठीक है? All the servers in the rack will be connected to the switch using a LAN cable on RJ45 port. ठीक है? You will define a network on the switch. And when you deploy an operating system on the server, the switch will be responsible to give its private IP, and the IP address will be from this range. Okay? So what will happen when you will ping Google from here? The traffic will go to the switch automatically. How? Because you have set a default gateway on the server, which means you will configure that manually. You will manually configure default gateway on the server so that the traffic reaches the switch. You will manually configure the default gateway on the switch also. So the switch takes the traffic to the router, and the router then takes the traffic outside to the public domain. Make sense?
I have one question.
Go on.
What is the use of the other switch, I mean second switch, if we providing the default gateway?
Yes. So if I have two switches, I will also connect this to the server. Keep it connected all the time. But at one time, this will only operate over this one switch. Okay. Now let's assume this switch has gone down.
Okay.
So I will just go to the server, change the default gateway so that this server will go to this switch and the traffic will be routed from this.
So it will
Make
be
sense?
free. I mean, we have to
Sorry?
configure.
It's a failover kind
Yes,
of thing.
yes. It's a failover scenario. Load balancing in switches. This way, this can happen. Redundancy backup, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So that is the
And,
reason you can
and
connect multiple switches.
here is the NLB features is comes in picture, network load balancing.
Correct. Nowadays, networking has become very advanced. Okay, there is one switch. Basically, it's not a switch. It's a level 4 switch we call that as, and that acts as a hardware firewall and switch two in one, and that also has a load balancing feature. So all these three things are coming under one device now, and these highly modernized applications are using these devices. Amazon is using that, Azure, GCP, latest data centers, everyone is using this piece of devices. So they get three in one facility: load balancing, hardware firewall, and switching and networking. Switching and routing, sorry. All these three features under one. Make sense?
Yes.
So now why is it important for us to learn and understand these basics? The thing was, we have learned till here, switch, correct? So route table acts as a switch. Now this switch is connected to the internet gateway. This internet gateway is a route. How it is connected? See, in every subnet, you will see this information here, route table. So which means this subnet is connected to this switch, correct? Right. Now this switch, if you go and check route table, this switch is connected to this router. See, internet gateway का ID है यहाँ पे. This ID is the same. See, see. In the route table, if you come on this page, route table ka page, you select the route table, and under the routes, you find this internet gateway. So what does it mean? This connection means you created a VPC. I mean default VPC है, उसमें ये सबनेट बना हुआ है, राइट? सो ये हो गया मेरा पूरा VPC, मतलब पूरा डेटा सेंटर. सबनेट हो गया मेरा रैक, ऐसा समझ कर चलिए. रैक, रैक को चाहिए स्विच. ये हो गया राउट टेबल मेरा स्विच, और स्विच कनेक्ट होता है राउटर से, तो ये इंटरनेट गेटवे हो गया मेरा राउटर. तो क्या मैं पूरा डेटा सेंटर बना सकता हूँ Amazon क्लाउड प्लेटफॉर्म पे?
Yes.
Yes.
इसके लिए मुझे रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है? ये चीज की, नेटवर्क की, करेक्ट? अगर मैं ये नेटवर्क बना पाया, तो क्या मैं Amazon पे आकर यहाँ पर अपना खुद का VPC बना सकता हूँ? Which means can I create my own data center?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And that is what we are going to do. Because if you are able to do this, you're done. You have created your infrastructure. और उसके अंदर फिर तुम कितने भी VMs बनाओ, तो क्या होगा? When you create your own VPC, here you get a chance to create a Linux virtual machine or a Windows virtual machine or a storage device or a network firewall or a security group or a Kubernetes cluster. ये जितनी भी चीजें हमको ऑलरेडी पता है, और डेटाबेस, ये हम लोग कहाँ बना सकते हैं? हमारे VPC में, मतलब हमारे डेटा सेंटर के अंदर. तो क्या किया तुमने? यू क्रिएटेड योर कस्टमर्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. हाउ डिड यू डू दैट? यूजिंग दिस रिसोर्सेस. So can you guys be called as a cloud architect also tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Cloud engineer.
Yes.
That is the reason we are learning this, because tomorrow when you start learning DevOps, and then if you have completed the course and when you go for the interviews, all this skill set you will be able to add in your CV right from the scratch. Infrastructure, Linux, Windows, networking N plus, hardware H plus, because वो भी मैंने तुमको पढ़ाया. What is the use of firewall, router? Firewall पढ़ेंगे आगे. Switch, router, server, rack, data center. All these things I have taught you. You can put all these things in your CV, and then rest of the DevOps plus cloud. ये जितनी भी चीज हम लोग कर रहे हैं, कहाँ पे कर रहे हैं? क्लाउड पे, राइट? अभी हम लोग कर रहे हैं, मतलब तुम भी करोगे कल परसों, कभी ना कभी तो करोगे देख के सेशंस, राइट? सो वंस यू डू दैट, व्हाट डज इट मीन? यू आर एडिंग योर स्किल सेट टू द CV. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And again, coming back to our course content, see, we are following this. तो कहीं पे भी अगर अटक जाओ या कंफ्यूज हो जाओ तो यहाँ पर आने का. Look at this. हम लोग कहाँ पर है, लेटेस्ट रिकॉर्डिंग कहाँ पे रुकी, सर ने क्या पढ़ाया, रेफर दिस. ओके, देन गो टू रोड मैप टू डेवॉप्स. नेटवर्किंग है क्या, तो चलो अपने को शायद ये देखना है, ये देखना है, ये देखना है. ओके, दिस थिंग्स विल बी ऑलरेडी विथ यू, उसको फॉलो करो तुम बस. ओके, रोज का रोज पढ़ते जाओगे तो डिफिकल्टी कम होगी. बिकॉज सी, मुझे मेरे हिसाब से मतलब, चलो ठीक है, आई हैव 9 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, तो मेरे हिसाब से शायद कभी कभी फास्ट हो जाएगा, तुम्हारे हिसाब से कभी कभी बहुत फास्ट हो जाएगा. तो वेन एवर यू फील गाइज, वहीं के वहीं बोलो मुझे, रेदर देन दूसरे वीक में वो एड्रेस हो जाएगा. जब तक तो टाइम निकल जाता है ना, टाइम एक बार चला गया तो डजंट मेक एनी सेंस. इफ यू फील, टेल मी इमीडिएटली देन एंड देयर कि वी आर गोइंग अ लिटिल फास्ट, तो फिर हम लोग जब भी के जब कुछ कर पाएंगे. मेक सेंस? एनीवेज, अभी you guys have got any questions till here?
No, sir. I have not.
Guys, any questions?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll stop here today. Okay. Tomorrow we will understand what is this. This will come under core networking. Today what we did is infrastructure. Once we are able to understand what is this item 170 to 31, this network address, how it is created, how it can be used, what are the various forms of this, what is a public IP, private IP, what is a default gateway, how to configure that. Once we know this, we were good to go to create our own VPC, and then inside our VPCs, we will keep on creating our virtual machines, our servers. Okay. Anyhow, what we have learned here is known as infrastructure as a service. Okay. So data center provides you infrastructure as a service. Okay. What is platform as a service? Any idea?
Sir, can AWS be a platform as a service?
I'm asking you a question, you're asking me a question. First, you answer my question. What is platform as a service?
Software, I mean Linux or Windows.
Correct. Excellent answer. Platform as a service means he who gives you an ability to create a virtual machine, which can be either Linux or Windows, that is platform as a service. And yes, Amazon is a platform as a service because it gives you a privilege. Na? Here you are able to create VMs, correct? So it's a platform as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? Tell me.
Network, server, and compute.
Correct. So what is the example of that?
AWS.
Correct.
AWS is
Cloud.
a combination of services like infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. All three.
Cloud provider is everything as a service. It gives you everything. Disaster as a service. Also, function as a service also. Lambda is example of that. Serverless compute as a service, which is Elastic Beanstalk, Kubernetes, right? So every cloud provider is everything as a service. They provide you everything. They provide you infrastructure as a service. See, wherever you are able to create your own data centers, the thing which we were talking about right now, creating our own data center. That is infrastructure as a service, na? So we are able to create that, right? Now, this question, I'm talking about only a physical data center. Is this infrastructure as a service?
Yes.
Okay. Is it software as a service?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No.
Okay, no problem. See, जब आंसर गलत होगा जब ही सीखोगे तुम लोग. So don't hesitate to be wrong.
No, this
No
is not
problem.
a software as a service.
Okay. Who have said yes?
Sir, I have said yes.
Okay, great. See, if you need an explanation, you have to be honest. Whoever thinks that is a yes. Is it a software as a service? Okay. Next question. I'll give an explanation tomorrow. Is this physical data center platform as a service?
Yes, sir.
How
Yes, sir.
many of, okay. How many
No.
of you say yes and how many of you say no?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Tell me one thing very frankly. Do you guys really even know what is platform as a service or a software as a service, or you're just answering for the sake of answering? Tell me this thing honestly.
For me, software is like what you install. I mean, what's the tool we are using, which is inside our computer for the platform based on our operating systems or type of machine. And infra, what is the what resources we provide for our projects.
No, both the answers are partially correct. First of all, I didn't ask you what is a software. I asked you what is software as a service. Or is this
Sir,
physical data center providing you software as a service? And I also asked you, is this physical data center providing you platform as a service? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the answer to that is we need to learn a little bit more about this concept platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, disaster recovery as a service, function as a service, okay, load balancing as a service, deployment as a service. If you understand one thing out of all this now, you understand everything. Okay, so let's start with platform as a service. प्लेटफॉर्म एज अ सर्विस जब ये पूरा के पूरा टर्म आता है इसका मतलब ये है कि somebody is trying to give you the service. And when I'm asking you a question about a data center, does data center provide you platform as a service? What does it mean? It means, is data center providing you platform? What do you mean by platform? Compute, not the hardware, the software layer of that, and that is an operating system. Does data center provides you platform as a service? So the answer is no. No data center provides you a platform as a service. They don't provide you images of the VMs or the virtual machines. They provide you physical servers. They only provide you infrastructure as a service. Okay? Makes sense? I'm sure you may not know that because not everyone have got a chance to work with a data center. That's why I'm answering this to you. Okay? Now, next was software as a service. So the question was, did data center provide you as software as a service? So we answer करने के लिए we should know what is actually software as a service. Now, can you guys give me any one example of software as a service?
Sir, the ERPs which we work on, so we provide a back and forth services of a specific software.
Okay. Any generic example of that which other people will also understand?
sir,
Microsoft
Dynamic
Gmail.
365.
365.
Sorry.
Microsoft 365.
Okay. Any other?
Sir, Gmail.
Correct. Complete.
Salesforce.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Gmail, Google Drive. चलो Microsoft भी licensed है. So let's stick to free and open source freeware. Google का account is free. That is software as a service. The world's best example for software as a service is Google. You just need an internet connection and a small browser to go and create an account. After creating an account, you get these many services. Have you ever tried to notice how many services Google gives you for free? Go to the Google homepage. Second, look at this. These are the products of Google. These are all services for free. And this is an example of software as a service. Do you use Google Drive, correct? Have you installed an application externally to use Google Drive or a service? No, right? Here I can
No.
directly say, yeah, even on your smartphones, all your Linux on your Android phones. Android is basically Linux, okay? Android is created out of Linux. Okay, it's a child of Linux. So on Android phones also, even for that matter of fact, I've not used iPhone, but I'm sure iPhone is also Linux based, and there also you are able to log into Google. So no phones will ask you to install an external application and use Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, right? This is an example of software as a service where people are providing you service. Service के साथ में they are also providing you with a software that is pre-installed. You just need to log in and start using it. That is software as a service, right? So when the software comes into picture after the platform, correct? What is a platform? Operating system. So let's assume example, here I've bought a new phone and it does not have an operating system on that. No Linux, no Android, no iPhone, no iOS. Can you run Gmail on that?
No.
So does software as a service has a dependency on platform as a service?
Right.
Yes.
Now another question. If I don't even have a phone, will I be able to use software as a service?
No.
No. It's a generic, it's a simple answer. Correct? No. नहीं जब सर्वर ही नहीं है हाथ में या फोन ही नहीं है हाथ में तो हम लोग सॉफ्टवेयर कहाँ पे देखेंगे, right? So platform as a service has a dependency on infrastructure as a service. But infrastructure as a service is the main thing. उसको किसी की dependency नहीं है. Okay? So if you have infrastructure as a service, there is a high possibility you can ask for platform as a service like data center. If I request a data center that I want to use your images of virtual machines, and if they are able to provide me with the images, they are giving me platform as a service. ठीक है? And once I've installed operating system on my server, मेरा platform तैयार हो गया. And if there I am able to connect Google Drive, or if I am able to ping Google, what does it mean? I am getting software as a service also from the data center. I mean, Google is different product, but data center पे मुझे मिला है, which means I am able to use that. Right? Now, as I took an example of this thing, two switches. What does it mean? Disaster recovery. Correct? अगर ये server, ये switch पूरा के पूरा बंद पड़ गया, traffic will be routed to this switch. Correct? So what does it mean? Disaster recovery as a service. So is my physical data center providing me that service?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is providing me that service. Okay, same like that, we will understand function as a service also, but not now. When the time will come, right now, this much should be sufficient for you to understand or differentiate at least between what is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, and what are the dependencies. So today, what have we have learned? We have learned the difference between a physical data center and a cloud platform, which will continue tomorrow. We have seen how physical infrastructure operates, right? In a data center, we understood default gateway, usage of switch, usage of router, server ka usage, so we will see till the end of the course. Okay, so this is what we have learned with a lot of examples and real life examples that will help you to understand things in a much slighter and a easier way. So tomorrow what we are going to do is, tomorrow we need to understand this: what is an IP, what is the difference between public and private IP, what is a default gateway IP, what is a subnet, what is a CIDR, how to create a network on AWS cloud platform, and then how to create your resources in that virtual private cloud. Once we complete that tomorrow, most probably, we will complete all our prerequisites, and I will make sure we complete that tomorrow, so that from next Saturday we will start with the DevOps syllabus, where the first chapter will be Git. Okay. So to move on to that level, we need to cross this level tomorrow. Okay. And the expectation is, after tomorrow's session, you will have 5 days. In that 5 days, you will complete the infrastructure as part on AWS here. So which means by tomorrow, we'll have our own VPC here. We'll have our own subnets here. We'll have our own switch. We'll have our own router. And then we will have our own Linux virtual machine created it in our own network, which will give me a clear identification that I created my own data center somewhere in Oregon region in America. And there I have created my own Linux and Windows VM. They are both able to ping each other by IP and DNS host names. What does it mean? You've already architected a cloud with your own resources, and then we will learn DevOps, so that all the DevOps things will come under this platform. ये सब एक स्विच और एक रैक के अंदर आ जाएगा, पूरा के पूरा डेवॉप्स को उसके अंदर समेट लेंगे हम लोग. Okay, so if your infrastructure is clear, I think you should not have difficulty understanding the DevOps internal items or itineraries. Make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
All
sir.
right then. All right then. I'm pasting these links on the group, the whiteboard links which you might require. And also giving you this link on the LMS. Okay, and no, we will name this as links. I'm giving you the roadmap to DevOps link also here, so that you guys will be able to use it, and roadmap to DevOps as well. Okay. Got it? So that what will happen? It will always be there in your LMS. You can refer to that with the recordings whenever you want, right? See, when you click on live sessions, you navigate to live sessions. You can just get everything here. This sessions is getting recorded also. So this link will be available here. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, then any questions before we end up today's session?
Sir, do you please paste that group link in this, because I'm not added to that WhatsApp group, if
So
possible
then
to.
group link नहीं वैसे नहीं होता है. I can give you that, but it will be better if you ask your counselor to add you. Who is your counselor?
Priyanka.
You can ask her to add you. She will
Okay.
immediately add you. I've already informed everyone to add everybody to the group.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Sir, can you
Uh,
please share the blogger link?
I've done that now on the LMS.
Okay.
अभी वही तो
Okay.
बताया ना मैंने कि I've added a new, you know, you have a LMS का access or not?
Yes, sir, I have.
So go to discuss your doubt का tab. वहाँ पे I've added आज का date and links. वो links पे जाओ. There you'll get the links.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Right. And I've also pasted the links on the WhatsApp group. Anyhow, tell me how to give you the link. ये WhatsApp पे कहाँ मिलता है वो link?
No, sir.
I also don't know. I've never added people giving a link. Is anybody aware of that? Okay, I think the admin can do that. And I'm not the admin. I might not be able to give you the link also. Anyhow, you guys can ask your counselors to get you added today itself. Okay? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other questions, guys, right now?
No, it was a great session.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, no problem.
No,
But
sir.
then, yeah. So go through the recordings, try to understand what we have done, and ask me the questions tomorrow. At least tomorrow, you might come up with the questions. Okay? So do that. First 10-15 minutes we'll spend on the question answers if you guys have any, because as I said, prerequisites are very important. I want you guys to precisely clear this so that you move on to DevOps. Then it will become very easy for you. Okay? So do that and let me know tomorrow. Okay?
सर ये
And
आज अवेलेबल रहेगी ना LMS पे?
हाँ, थोड़ा एक आधे घंटे के बाद मैं चेक कर लूँ.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
No problem. And that's all then. Okay then, guys. Thank you so much for your time and patience. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.